going on, guys? Andrew with Pride. We've got Coach Alex with Kabuki and Miss Kitty, and we're going to be demoing a bench today. So, that being said, Alex, take it away.
Sweet. Okay, so we've been defining the movements before doing them for the squat and the deadlift video. Bench press is a little bit harder because it's less of a fundamental pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will just assume that a bench press is lying on your back, bar to chest, and then arms extenders.
Yeah, I literally just call it a horizontal push.
Yeah.
You just happen to be laying down.
Sweet. Okay, so which means, just jump on the deadlift platform, us, babe. Do a push up.
A push up?
Yeah, do a push up.
Okay.
This is a horizontal push lying down, right? That's exactly what's happening. Horizontal push lying down. Relax. So I would argue that unless you can control your body weight with good mechanics, this is a much more appropriate exercise than the bench press to start with. Okay, and that means the faults that we see in push-ups should,
translate.
That's much better. Yeah, translate over to the bench. So, Meow, can you just do a push-up for us and then to let your scapula elevate? So let your shoulders shrug. This is the most common fault in a push-up. Oh, I don't mean that. I mean towards your ears.
There we go.
Yeah. Just let it come into internal rotation of your shoulders.
Yeah, so you can see we got a lot going on.
Yeah, like tons of winging, tons of upper trap involvement. Do a push-up. Yeah, gross. Okay, sweet. Relax. Yeah.
Disgusting.
Gross.
It was. Okay, sweet. So before we get into the loaded or I always got open and post chain mixed up.
Dude, I always do too. It's because it's like one of those things that's kind of unimportant.
Yeah.
There's a difference between open and closed chain, guys.
Yeah,
one of them is when you're moving, one of them is when the weight's moving.
Yeah. Unless you're doing it to rehab stuff, I don't think it's important. But anyway, it's by the way. So I would address a lot of the problems on the bench press in the push-up to start with. Okay? Something like if we have someone who's doing push-ups and they're coming into this position to sit up because they find more stability with internal rotation, now's the time to address it.
Right.
Okay? So can you just show us a really internally rotated push-up? Not two, just watch your shoulder, okay?
Yeah, be nice to your shoulders.
Yeah. So this is a really terrible position to be exerting pressure on the shoulder in. Relax. And if we end up in that position under load on the bench press, we start talking about potential injuries. Okay. Potentially. I'm not saying it is. Okay. So get in a push-up position. Sweet. I want you to recreate the brace that you have at the feet with your hands. So we have to grab the floor.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going
My hands are getting red. Okay.
Okay, so I want you to grab the floor with your hands. Okay?
Mom?
Grab the floor with your hands. Okay, you're going to push your thumb into the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to push the outside edge of your hand into the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to try and rotate towards your little finger. And see, now we create the same brace that we had at the foot, which in turn influences the shoulder or the hip.
Right.
Okay, and creates a lot more tension here. Okay, she's also, as soon as she starts bending her elbows, going to come into a much nicer elbow position. So it's a good squat, man. So she's never going to fall into that really bad internal rotation if the brace is right. Make sense?
Yeah. So just so you guys can see that, can you let this relax a little bit and create that torque again? So elbow is right here, and let it come out again. So basically, what she's doing is she's creating this twist. The elbow is more or less coming back. That's just the easiest way to break down. There's a lot more happening in the shoulder and the hand. But again, that's basically just creating tension in the shoulder and helping her create, again, more or less a brace through the shoulder.
Yeah. Relax. Okay. It's important to note here that the intention isn't to bring the elbow to the side. So I'm not just doing this and having like the same radial deviation.
Yeah.
This is important, like this rotation here.
Yeah, it's a very it's an intention based thing. It's not just a matter of like move the body into a position. It is you're creating tension when you're doing that. That's also why like having a firm grip onto something is important, so you have something to kind of twist into. Don't get me wrong, you can create tension without it. It's just a lot easier to have that feedback.
So I think this is like a nice place to start bench press talking about. Mm-hmm. And then I would actually push up again. Do you mind? I would actually have like standards of bench press I need to see. Probably push up I need to see. Like this is really obvious. So if we can look at cat's wing shoulders here, okay, if I can get my hands underneath this,
right,
we would argue that potentially we need to address just push up, push. Cool. So we wouldn't obviously do this on a bench press, but we still have a wing here, right?
Right.
So something we need to address. So clearing. Okay. just a point there about what we look for before we bench press.
Right.
So clearing test to bench press. We haven't spoken about clearing tests. Do you care?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
No? I'll do it. You do that. So if we go into bench press, and if someone does this and raises their shoulder like that, and it hurts, don't bench press. Go and see a physio and doctor and get your shoulder repaired. Yeah. Okay? That's what we're going to do at clearing test.
Just since I just got in that accident, they will feel a little wonky right now.
Yeah, but if you get like sharp pain here, like, you've got to address it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's like the basic clearing test. For
These are just really tight and pissed off from that accident.
Okay. Right, Kitty's going to bench press. We're going to bench press without a performance goal in mind. Okay, so it's not going to be a proper arch. It's going to be a semi-arch.
For layman's, essentially, this is not going to be like a powerlifting setup. This is just going to be like more standard setup.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be like this huge arch that she would usually create.
Right, go into the bar.
And most people don't necessarily set up from the top. It doesn't matter if you do or don't. I mean, it has some pros and cons, but in this case, she just always has done this.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll talk about what's happened to get to this position rather than just getting to this position, okay? So what Kitty's done is she again had an equidistant grip on the bar, okay? Super important to create stability. She then swung herself under the bar with her feet planted, so she actually had a stable place to kind of root from, okay? So you did it right. Okay, sweet. Okay, so it wasn't just a case of like tap dancing around or just dicking around until you find a position that's comfy. It's forcing yourself into a stable position. Because if, do you want to bench press? Up, ready? That's it, cool. If Kitty does a couple of reps like this, just do a couple. She has just done a bench session, by the way. Okay, now put your feet in the air. Okay, go again. Do you see how it's way harder, but it's also a little bit wobbly?
And also, funny enough, is a bench press. Photo press, I think?
Yeah.
This is Larson press.
Larson
Larson
press.
press.
Yeah. Which is a great variation, by the way. Really
Yeah,
good variation.
it was fantastic.
But much harder because you have way less stability, right? It's like standing on a Swiss ball and trying to overhead press. It's really fucking hard. Okay. Instability decreases your ability to output. Okay. So when we create a stable environment by having the feet down, we can then create a position to put the butt down. Yeah. And then we can use that as an anchor to put the shoulders down. And then we have, we do have an arch created, but it's an arch where we get to have a stable position for the shoulders. So everyone's favourite engineer, obviously Brunel, right?
Oh, absolutely. Love Brunel.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. There's a lot of arches and bridges, and the reason is they're super stable. Okay. So
One thing to clarify, guys, this is not nearly as big of an arch as it actually looks like. Like, that's barely enough to fit my hand.
yeah, that's a bad arch. Okay, but when Kitty creates this arch, she creates this stability here. Because her feet are planted, and her butt's planted, and her shoulders are planted, she can actually push from here and transfer energy really well through her body into her shoulders, which is a stable platform. Okay, as we just demonstrated, stability, ace. Cool. Unwrap the bar. She doesn't need a handle for this.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still
Yeah. Sweet. From here, her intention is to stay tight. So lats are tight and engaged. That will raise us up, but that's okay because we want this to be tight to be safe for the shoulder. Shoulders going to be away from the UK. Shoulders going to be away from the ears. Okay, because shoulders away from the ears encourages external rotation. We spoke about internal rotation before being hard. Mm-hmm. Okay, and from there she's going to lower the bar to her chest. When you say lower, up. Oh, we made you too much of that. Bar back in. Good. Okay. When we say lower the bar to the chest, I would encourage left place in the bar. I would encourage it to be pulling the bar to your chest. Okay, like actively trying to get the back to pull into it, rather than just lowering down. Okay. If we pull into it, the back works as a stabilization factor for the shoulder.
Another thing is when he's talking about like engaging your lats as you're holding the bar, a big part of where that comes in is just like what she was doing with the push-up, is creating that little bit of torque in the arm. That's going to get the lat to actually start firing.
Yeah, for sure. But can you grab us up one of those bands? I'll quickly explain why we create torque and why it adds stability. Thank you. Okay. So, if we imagine, say, muscles in the shoulder. They're kind of just flopping around, right? But when we take muscles in the shoulder, we kind of rotate them a little bit. This is clearly strong, right? This doesn't move as well. Rather than this, we have much more give. Okay, so when we talk about all the shoulder muscles to the shoulder tying together and like binding, that's a much more stable environment. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a demo that I do with a t-shirt, funny enough.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, it's putting a fist through a t-shirt and like creating a twist in it. Yeah, and it's like you immediately feel the difference.
Yeah, and that's what happens with a knee as well. Super important.
Absolutely.
It's more relevant for knee than shoulder actually, but there we go. Okay, so when we're talking about bench press, pull down to chest. I'm not going to go into bar path. I don't think it's too relevant.
Yeah, like unless you're really trying to like optimize the powerlifting, which if you can, like you can check out all of Kabuki's content on that.
Yeah, I took up Brandon Morgan's content. He's like a 500-pound bench press raw. It's fucking insane.
Oh my god,
very jacked. But also very technically excellent. Anything else we're saying that bench?
Isn't that
Common faults? I will actually go to common faults in the bench press. I won't get kids to do it, but I'll just show you what will happen. So if we're bench pressing, we're here, okay, and we drive down, we don't have the ability we spoke about before to stabilize the shoulder extension, and we come to here to do bench press. This is a super common fault because we're putting much more pressure in the front of the joint capsule. Right. Really, really bad, okay? You might as well just be doing this rotation.
Yeah, so literally what he's talking about when he's saying more pressure in the front of the joint capsule is think of this as like the ball. It's literally pushing into the front of his shoulder.
I'll show you Andrew for me. I'm going to get this side. So, just face the camera.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sweet. If we think about that position in the bench press, it's very much similar to this position, okay? And there's a reason people get thrown out of clubs like this, right? Because it's fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same position. Like if we go bench press here, thrown out of clubs. See, it's the same.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, sweet. So that is bad because of extra pressure here. Make sense? So I would fix that by one, cueing it. Just cue my shoulders down, shoulders away from this. That's going to work. Or just not going as far. Okay, it's absolutely fine, especially if you're not a powerlifter, to just come to here. Okay, we can find extra range of motion. We can find full range of motion somewhere else. Yeah, makes sense.
So essentially, what he's meaning there is like there's different things that you can do to. I hate using this word, but almost like kind of cheat that range of motion. You can create a little bit more of an arch to shorten that range of motion that you have to get. I thought you were about to hop under that bar. I'm like, there ain't a chance, bro. Yeah, so there's like you said, there's different places that you can kind of like find that range.
Yeah, so if we're talking about like, for example, body composition goals, so we're talking about okay, we're going to grow some muscle. Okay, part of growing muscle is increased range of motion. You have to lift with full range of motion, or you have to at least touch all ranges of motion within sessions, right? Mm-hmm. Another big part of hypertrophy is actually just load. So if we can load a muscle through a set range of motion, it doesn't really matter what it is. Okay, like the load, the mechanical tension on the muscle is a main driving factor. We might go through a full range of motion because we want to have metabolic factors, but that's more a secondary hypertrophic developer. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Sweet. Other weird things in bench press?
Only other thing that I can really think of is because I've seen a handful of different setups on the toes, on the full foot.
Whatever's comfortable or whatever aligns with your federation's rules.
Okay, fair enough.
So basically, it's different federations that have different rules about what your feet do. Okay, some say feet flat, some say you don't have them feet flat.
I personally prefer on the toes. Me. It
will have some implication on
feel
your
a little
hips.
less stable with it, for sure.
Yeah, it just depends how you feel. Like Kitty will go on the flat of her feet, she's fine. I will switch between the two because some days my hips are tight and some days they're not.
Yeah,
and I can't get my heels on the floor sometimes.
Yeah,
and that's fine. It doesn't matter unless the competition dictates it.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying, guys, is like sometimes you like won't be able to get the foot flat just because the hips are too tight to like extend all the way.
Yeah. If you're like me, like my arch is okay, right, babe? Yeah. So it's not as good as hers, but it's okay. Yeah. But I'm quite tight in general, so sometimes I just can't get to, like this overextended position.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what it is. Other common faults in the press: dumping the bar forward towards your hips is a big one. So I'll just do this.
Are you gonna be able to get under there?
Yeah, I can do this. Just a tricep extension. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Okay, so we'd have a bench press, and normally we'd have a bar path, which is something like this. Okay? If we lose control of this and the bar falls towards the hips, this starts being very hard to control. Okay, and a very big range of motion. That's one of the cues, which is more like, just do it properly.
Yeah.
Like we can do lat tightness for that one, okay? Because lat tightness will stop this. But it's more like, just be aware of it. And if your push-up's good, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and one other thing too is like a lot of these cues where he says like, you know, like just don't do it. What can help a lot is actually recording yourself or having someone else record you, so you can actually see what it is that you're doing wrong, because it's hard to correct something when it is a little more like, you know, theoretical, like they're telling you about it but you don't necessarily understand it. So physically seeing it with yourself, that helps a ton.
Yeah, I would actually say there's a prerequisite. You have to know what you're looking for. Yeah. Which is why you want to educate your athletes, why you want to be educated as an athlete. Like, if you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Any closing remarks or anything?
Bench is terrible.
I love benching.
I love bench.
Hell yeah, dude. This is like the only guy on the planet who hates bench. One of the few women on the planet that loves bench.
I love it.
What's your bench right now?
I don't know.
You're doing...
I'll tell you this. It's fucking high, and it's more than I can do. So there's that.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, actually, I think I might have yours passed right now.
Let me do a quick workout what a 1 rep max is.
All I know is like my last one was like 265 or something like that.
That's
not very impressive.
117?
Yeah.
Was that my max?
Yeah.
Kilos?
260.
Oh, I got 5 pounds more than you. Look at 5 pounds more bench than this one. Anyway, all righty, guys. Well, cool. That being said, my name's Andrew with Pride. This is Coach Alex with Kabuki, and we got Miss Kitty. So, see you later. Hey guys, if you like this clip, please share this out to someone else who needs to hear it. And if you want to hear more, there's actually a whole podcast and a whole YouTube channel. So you can go find us at Pride Fitness and Movement on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you find your podcasts. Go give us a follow, and we'll see y'all later.